was wonderful. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here with us. We have some guests still joining, so we're going to start in one moment. And thank you for being here with us. Today is our Noontime Knowledge Series, a dedicated space for our fundraising volunteers, our donor community, presidential counselors, really to get a behind the scenes access to our university strategic priorities and first person engagement with our academic leaders and the students on the forefront of innovation. In this case, our future STEM leaders. So thank you everyone for being here with us today. Again, I would like to thank everyone, but I'd also like to thank you for your time, your engagement, your consideration, and gratitude to our alumni and donor community, including our featured guest, our Millennium Scholars. Thank you for sharing a part of your journey with us, your stories, and to our longstanding supporters and corporate sponsorships from 3M and Chevron. Thank you very, very much. And all of our partners in this process, our institutional partners, including our fantastic Noontime Knowledge team. Thank you all. My name is Caridad Clark, and I am grateful to be your host this afternoon. As the Director of Strategic Initiatives for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, I help our community explore philanthropic opportunities that foster inclusive environment, scholarship, and diverse programming to reflect the varying reach of the Penn State experience. One such program that I have been very, very, very privileged to explore over the course of this year, which happens to be the 10th year. This is our 10th year in existence, is a program that has received national recognition for building a very, very, very strong community of gifted leaders, which, yes, in this vast landscape of greatness that we have access to see, I welcome you to explore MSP because this program is producing who you're going to read about. These are folks who you're reading about or who you're going to read about as our next STEM changers. So before we begin, we have a video from our provost, Dr. Justin Schwartz, Penn State's executive vice president and provost, excuse me. He would like to share a few words. He couldn't be here in person. However, we do have a video. There may be some sound differentials, so please feel free to adjust your volume to accommodate any changes in sound. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Justin Schwartz, Executive Vice President and Provost at Penn State University, and I want to talk to you briefly about the Millennium Scholars Program. When you give to the Millennium Scholars Program at Penn State, you are to export the students to change their lives so they can change the world. This program is critical to our efforts to see some of our brightest young students come into Penn State and then go on to graduate school after they complete their bachelor's degree. This is truly a doctoral level preparation program that takes some amazing young students and helps them become the people who are going to lead this country for decades to come by advancing their ability to really see in themselves everything that they can achieve.
Thank you. We would really love to thank the Provost's office, Provost Schwartz, for sharing that message with us. We have some excellent speakers to share their experiences today, to share with you today, and their impact on STEM education at Penn State. Starting, I'd like to introduce Dr. Amy Freeman. Dr. Amy Freeman is the director of the Millennium Scholars Program, a role she has held since 2018. However, Dr. Freeman has been engaged with the Millennium Scholars since its inception and is thrilled to be here today as a part of several events leading up to the Millennium Scholars 10th anniversary celebration, networking opportunity, and fundraising kickoff on Friday, September 15th, 2023. More details to follow and an invitation. Her prior appointments include Associate Provost and Chief Diversity Officer at Tufts University and Assistant Dean in the College of Engineering at Penn State. where she served as director of the Center for Engineering Outreach and Inclusion for 17 years. Through each of these appointments, Dr. Freeman has had extensive experience in creating and managing numerous STEM education interventions programs for student-based initiatives. She is a past president of the Women in Engineering Proactive Network and the National Association of Multicultural Engineering Program Advocates. She is a co-founder of the Collaborative Network for Engineering and Computing Diversity and a recipient of the Presidential Award for Excellence in Science, Mathematics, and Engineering. Mentoring, sponsored by the White House. Amy earned her bachelor's degree in construction management from Washington State University. She holds a master's of science degree in architectural engineering and a PhD in workforce education and development, both from Penn State. Her doctoral dissertation focused on community economics as a predictor of graduation rates in engineering. This unique and timely combination has provided a strong foundation for the traction she has guided within STEM intervention, design, and management. Excuse me. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Freeman. We are honored to have you here today. I would like to briefly mention again, our Millennium Scholars, not briefly, I briefly mentioned before, but thanking them again for being here on the call and in pre-recorded messages to ensure that everyone here has an opportunity to hear as much as possible from these incredible students and alumni. We will invite each of them to introduce themselves after Dr. Freeman shares her remarks. If you have any questions for our speakers, please enter them in the chat box at any time. We will try to save a few minutes for questions at the end of the program. Get to your question. We will share your contact information with you before we sign off. With that, I will turn it over to Dr. Freeman. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Cara Dad. I really appreciate the warm introduction. I am so excited to share with everyone today. Let me start by saying that we are celebrating 10 years of the Penn State Millennium Scholars Program. It's an initiative that provides a strong, continuous 4-year learning community for diverse populations of undergraduates who are preparing to ultimately pursue doctoral degrees in science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM fields. So the unique focus of the Millennium Scholars Program is to take undergraduate students directly from the 4-year bachelor's degree into a STEM PhD program. And I think that's, there are very few programs who do this across the nation. The mission of the Penn State Millennium Scholars Program is to cultivate a community of STEM scholars who will produce a sustainable, many sustainable solutions to global challenges and actively engage as innovative leaders in society. So these are scholars who are seeking to solve problems that affect the global community, such as clean water, clean air, solutions for infectious diseases, efficient buildings, as well as education and access to these solutions for those who are often left out. The Millennium Scholars Program is the only student service organization at Penn State housed in the office of the provost. It serves students from 6 supporting STEM colleges at Penn State, including the Eberly College of Science and the colleges of Engineering, Agricultural Sciences, Earth and Mineral Sciences, Information Sciences and Technology, and most recently, Health and Human Development. So a little bit on our stats and our data. The Millennium Scholars Program has served 326 students over the past 10 years. The graduation rate for Millennium Scholars receiving a BS degree is at 91%. As of May 2023, there are 7 classes of MSP alumni totaling 177 students, with 102 or 58% who've gone directly into graduate study, with most entering STEM doctoral programs across the country. So this data, if you study this, you know very well that this data far exceeds the national average. Other alumni continue on into industry, post-bac research, or educational leadership roles. Of the 131 students who are currently enrolled, 75% are racially represented in STEM fields, and 59% are women. In this Noontime Knowledge session, you will learn how we do this, and you're going to hear from several MSP scholars, those who enrolled, those who are alumni, and in graduate school, and one of our first MSP PhDs. We're so very, very proud of that. Our program has produced a decade of success, and we are celebrating with a big gala event in September. We're really excited about that. During this time, we are also working to increase sustainable support and ensure that this program continues as Penn State addresses budgeting challenges and kicks off the next campaign in 2024. So whether that support is through a major endowment or continuing sustainable monthly or annual giving, all of it makes a big difference in the lives of these students. And all of this will directly go on to serve global communities as they discover new things for us. So with that, I will pause and give you a quick overview of how the program works, and then we'll hear directly from our scholars. The success strategies of the Penn State Millennium Scholars Program, those strategies are based on 30 years of research-driven outcomes in STEM intervention programmings like this, showing that students who have strong communities, academic preparation, financial support, and research engagement tend to be the most likely to graduate in STEM fields. For these reasons, the program is highly structured with an intensive 6-week summer bridge program required for all MSP students. During the 6 weeks, the students take rigorous foundational review courses in calculus, chemistry, and professional development. They receive an introduction to research at Penn State and learn important life skills like time management and problem solving and smart study habits. During the summer, they also participate in team building exercises, community service, social events, field trips to national labs, and other cultural settings, including the White House and the National Museum of African American History, for example. Over the following 4 years, students are mentored as research scholars. They're housed together in a learning community on campus for the first 2 years, and each summer are encouraged to seek out and participate in research at institutions across the country. Other supporting activities include national conference attendance, where they give scholarly presentations and find options for domestic and international research opportunities. By the time these students are juniors, they begin their preparation of graduate school applications, and upon graduation, the average grade point average of a Millennium Scholar is 3.54 on a 4.0 scale. As seniors, they've completed senior research theses, or they have authored other scholarly publications while they're out visiting PhD programs in anticipation of graduation. So just things I think about: Penn State's first class of Millennium Scholars, Cohort 1, graduated in 2017 and are now completing PhDs. Cohort 7, the 7th group of Millennium Scholars to come in to Penn State, graduated this past May of 2023. And Cohort 11 just arrived this summer. We're working with them now, and they will start their own MSP journeys. So I'll pause and we'll take a listen to several of our Millennium Scholars as they share experiences with you. Thank you so much, Kara Day.
Thank you, Dr. Freeman. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Flores, and I am a member of Cohort 10. I was born in San Pedro Sula, but I'm currently living in White Lake, Michigan, and I am a material science and engineering major of the class of 2026. And today I'll be talking to you all about the summer bridge experience. So for me, this was actually happening pretty much exactly this time last year. So late last June, I came in, and through the end of July, we were doing the summer bridge program for Cohort 10. And it was a very transformative experience, I would say, and that is not an understatement in any way. First, we started with obviously the curriculum elements, rigorous and intensive math classes, experiences with chemistry, computer science. But for me, the biggest takeaway was the people. That was the first time that I met all of the 31 other members of my cohort. It's a time where we got close, we grew together in a very challenging but fair environment. And it put me in the right environment to be able to further my own career. I'm currently doing research right now at Northwestern University in collaboration with Argonne National Lab. And a lot of that is possible because of the environment that I was in last summer, surrounded by like-minded and very driven people that motivated me to start networking and start research engagements from last summer, even before I started my freshman year. And it's that experience that has led me to where I am today. But beyond that, the cohort has a lot of my very closest friends, my personal support system, both academically, but even more importantly, personally. And that's a lot of the outcomes that I've gathered from this program have come from that summer bridge as the seeds that basically set my undergraduate career alight and have put me on this path towards success onto the future. So with that, I would like to thank you all for listening, and now I'll be passing you on to Jake Snyder.
Thank you so much, David. So, hi everybody. My name is Jake Snyder. My pronouns are he, they, and I am from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. I graduated recently with a degree in biology with minors in marine science and art. And in the fall, I will be attending the University of Hawaii at Manoa to earn my PhD in marine biology with support from the National Science Foundation's Graduate Research Fellowship. And now, studying marine biology has been a lifelong goal of mine, and because of Millennium, I feel really prepared to actually pursue it. And I first learned about Millennium on July 29th, 2018, during Spend a Summer Day for Penn State. And exactly 1 year later to the day, I graduated from Millennium Summer Bridge Program with my cohort, Cohort 7. And I attribute many of my academic and professional successes to my cohort. Having such a tightly knit group of scholars to take most of my core classes with really helped me build a foundation, not only in my degree, but also in my field overall. But this support system extends far beyond academics. They supported me in acquiring internships and international opportunities. I had the opportunity to have an internship in Louisiana to study jellyfish mucus production, and in Hawaii, where I worked for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I went on research cruises through the Caribbean and into the remote Pacific. And last year, I also studied art abroad for a semester in Rome, Italy. But a moment that really exemplified how strong my bonds in my cohort are was when I won the Guide State Forward Award at Penn State's homecoming game in 2022. My Millennium friends were the very first people to meet me at the end zone exit to celebrate. So as you can see, my cohort, by all definitions other than biological, is really my family. And so this scholarship only represents a part of what Millennium has given me. Receiving the scholarship demonstrated not only that they respected my identity, but they also saw me as part of the next generation of future STEM leaders. So to close, to me, Millennium means family. And when you support Millennium, funding an academic program, you're also helping students like me find their people and find their place in STEM. So thank you so much. And now we will hear from my best friend and former roommate, Wezi.
Thank you, Jacob. So my name is Wezi Mikandawire. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I just recently graduated with a degree in chemical engineering. This fall, I'll be headed to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where I'll begin my PhD in chemical engineering. So I originally heard about Millennium through seeing an application pop up after I completed my Penn State application. I didn't think too much of it, but my dad read about it a little bit, and he told me, you should apply to this program. It's really good. And once I read a little bit more about the program, I knew it was something that I had to try to be a part of. Now, throughout my last 4 years, Millennium has been really integral in my success as an undergraduate researcher. And they've done such a great job at adequately preparing me for graduate school research and for applying to graduate schools. I think there are two major things that have contributed to that success throughout the years. So first is when we come in our freshman year, we're connected with this group of professors and professionals who are there to take on students into their lab and allow us to do really cool and exciting research. And I think that really helps us see the value in the work that we do and pushes us forward to want to get the graduate school degree in the future. And the second thing is when we come in, we get this really streamlined process of how to apply to things like summer research programs, as David had mentioned earlier. I have so many friends that have gotten into such amazing institutions, and it's so inspiring to see. And we start our first year getting the resources we need to apply to these really great programs. And then all throughout the 4 years, we go through this iterative process of making our applications better so that by the time we get to our senior year, we have this really nice and complete application package that we can send off to our dream schools and have confidence that we can actually get into these places. And so as I reflect sort of on my 4 years at Millennium, having just graduated, I think to me, being a Millennium Scholar is something that Dr. Freeman had mentioned earlier, and it's something that she has instilled in us all 4 years. It's that we are in a program that is building us to be world changers and global leaders. And as I look at all my friends and the things that they do, the accomplishments that they have, I have no doubt that every person individually in this program will be a world leader and a global and change the world for the positive. And so thank you for listening to what I had to say. And now I'll be passing it on to Delian Colon.
Thank you so much, Wasi. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Delian Colon Burgos. I am from Calle, Puerto Rico, and I recently graduated with a bachelor's degree in meteorology and atmospheric science and a minor in geography. In the fall, I will start my master's and PhD degree at the Colorado State University Department of Atmospheric Science, where I would do hurricane research, and then this research will be supported by the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship. So one of the greatest aspects of the program that was substantial for my growth as a scientist and that truly prepared me for graduate school was the conference support that MSP provided me throughout my 4 years. I had the opportunity to present research posters from various summer research experiences at the conferences of the American Meteorological Society. And in these conferences, I got to build my science communication skills, learn about the latest research in the field, and also expand my network tremendously. That was super helpful when applying to graduate school. Overall, MSP for me was life-changing. My dream was to become a Penn State meteorology, and for those of you that are familiar with our department, the meteorology department at Penn State is super prestigious and is huge in the field of meteorology. So for me, I grew up wanting to come to Penn State and be a Penn State meteorologist, and MSP made that possible, because without their financial support, I wouldn't have been able to do that. But other than financial support, something that I treasure is the academic support that MSP provided me through tutoring and also through their academic advisors that helped me really set my stone and build throughout my 4 years the correct classes that I was supposed to take, and also apply to multiple experiences that really made my learning very unique. Throughout my 4 years, I got to study abroad. I went to Iceland to learn about sustainability and renewable energy. That's the picture you're seeing on the top left. I also got to be a NOAA Hauling Scholar and work at the National Hurricane Center, which was an amazing experience for me and made me really see my passion for hurricanes and defined my interest, research interest for graduate school. And overall, my cohort, I think, it's one of the things that I most treasure about MSP, that supportive community that really got me through the hard times throughout my 4 years at Penn State, and that now are my lifelong friends. So I am so grateful for this program and for all of the program leaders, and I thank you for listening to me today. And now you will hear from Ashley.
Thank you, Delian. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional hearing my cohort members speak about the amazing things that they do. And it's so exciting that they're going to be going like across the coast to study these amazing things. Sorry about being a little bit emotional. But my name is Ashley Bolds. I'm also in cohort 7. I recently graduated with a degree in biochemistry and molecular biology with a minor in microbiology, and my pronouns are she, her. So over the years, I have been able to conduct a lot of neuroscience research, specifically addiction research here at Penn State, but also fentanyl addiction research at the University of Minnesota Medical School and antidepressant research at Columbia University Medical Center. I will be taking a gap year or a growth year at the NIH as I apply to MD PhD programs in the spring. And of course, Millennium has supported me throughout all of my research, but as you heard so many of my cohort members say, we became global scholars. And me personally, that is something that I never, ever would have been able to see myself doing. As a first generation college student, I didn't think it was possible for me to see the world, let alone study abroad to gain knowledge and become a better person professionally and personally. And you may ask, like, why did you not think you could do that? Well, financial reasons, financial challenges, but also taking rigorous courses as a STEM major. It's kind of hard to fit in study abroad programs. And also just looking around, I didn't really see many students that looked like me going abroad. But Millennium Scholars Program really helped me break through these barriers. And I can give you some tangible ways that they did this. First and foremost, our first year seminar, MSP had other students that were in older cohorts that went abroad and came and talked to us. And for the first time, I could see myself in that space as well. And these students also had rigorous STEM degrees. So I was like, wow, it's possible to study abroad and do biochemistry. That's really amazing. MSP also encouraged us to apply for scholarships and support us financially. And they wrote so many letters of recommendation for us. I will forever be thankful. Me specifically, I was a recipient of the U.S. Department of State Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship in 2023. And because of the Millennium Scholars Program, I was able to go to Tanzania, East Africa in May of 2022, and I just returned from Australia and New Zealand in May of 2023. In Tanzania, I studied biology of eco-health, and in Australia, I studied Indigenous cultures. And through these programs, I was able to ask questions about mental health and really could see myself bringing these different perspectives to research and asking really impactful questions. And I think this really would help me as a physician scientist, as I hope to be an adolescent psychiatrist and doing neuroscience research in the future. To me, being a Millennium Scholar means building the necessary skills for your field at Penn State with your cohort, of course, but also really just having a lifelong global network of colleagues that really and truly will impact the world in their various fields. I will go ahead and turn it over to Cass.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cassidy Pitts. I use she, her pronouns, but I go by Cass. I say people that love me call me Cass, so my cohort is part of that. I'm from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and I graduated in May with a degree in biomedical engineering as part of cohort 7. In the fall, actually tomorrow, I'm heading to Washington University in St. Louis for a PhD in molecular genetics and genomics. I first heard about Millennium as part of a Spend a Summer Day program like Jake, and I was so overwhelmed and so excited because I thought this program was perfect for me. I, at the ripe old age of 12, decided I wanted a PhD, having no idea what that actually meant. And when I heard, oh, here's this program at Penn State that is trying to get you there, doing exactly what you've dreamed about, I was so overwhelmed that I bawled for like 30 minutes, and my mother will not let me forget that. And this aspect of preparing me for graduate school is such an important part of my time at Penn State. Over our 3 years, over our 3 summers that I had, every year I was doing research virtually in 2020 at Howard Hughes Medical Institute, Judelia Research Campus in 2021, and then finishing up my thesis work back at Penn State last summer. So getting all these opportunities to do science and most importantly, speak about my science at conferences and with my peers and just in casual conversation, because that's the kind of person I am, that helped me prepare so much for graduate school applications. In addition, I also did a GRE prep course that Millennium paid for and helped me boost my GRE scores, which are a graduate readiness exam. I also did a lot of writing prep, which is integrated with the fellowships office. Then this writing and the ability to speak about my science was very integral into my graduate application process. Personally, I was given 5 program offers out of the 10 I applied for. So just that's there are your numbers. That's my engineer in part of me. I did really well because of all the support that Millennium gave for me. And a big part of Millennium, while certainly not all of it, is the financial part. Without the scholarship, I would probably be working a part-time job and have some debt. And with part-time job, I wouldn't have time to do all the research I was able to do and wouldn't have the time to work as heavily with the Society of Women Engineers as I did. And then the part about debt, frankly, as graduate students, we're not going to make a lot of money. I'm making about half of what an average engineer makes. Since I don't have that debt, I can go straight into grad school. I don't need to worry about, making as much money as I possibly can. And like a lot of my peers echoed, I am so overjoyed and so honored to be a Millennium Scholar. I didn't really know what that meant, but as I was getting into it, I knew I wanted a PhD, but this Millennium Scholar thing was just an extra bonus, but it has meant so much to me. I know I'm joining a community of peers and high achieving diverse scientists that we are going to change the world. And this community is so important to me. At our graduation ceremony, we were all like, okay, so when's the 10-year reunion? Because we want to know what we're going to be doing in the future, and we will make a huge difference. Thank you for listening to me. I'm now going to turn it over to Emma Dodu.
Good morning. Hearing everything from you all is making me so happy. But my name is Emma Dodu, and I'm a now alumni and will always be a member of cohort 4. My major at Penn State was information sciences and technology, and now I am studying computing education research at the University of Michigan.
How am I supposed to know it was on their check?
Okay, so that's currently where I am. And what I'm doing at the University of Michigan is aspiring to broaden the field of computer science, in which I'm developing bilingual programming tools to increase the number of English language learners and immigrant students in computer science. I can say that every scholar that goes through the Millennium Scholars Program goes through 7 pillars. And the most important ones, I think, are cohesiveness, character building, vision, respect, but most importantly, resilience. In graduate school, these are the same skills I apply both in the lab, in my academic life, but also personally and in social life as well. In order to be the greatest, wherever you are as a scholar or aspiring to be, you have to find that community that you get and you learn as a cohort member of the Millennium Scholars Program. You must surround yourself with a group of people who will support you and encourage you, who push you when the end seems so far away, but also help you do it with a bit of fun, finding your passion along the way. So these are how the skills that I have learned from Millennium apply in graduate school. And again, you build that from day one, and there are continuous skills that you're using throughout. So with that, hearing a little bit of how I'm making it through graduate school, I will now pass it on to Dr. Taylor Susie. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emma. And thank you all for being here today. My name is Taylor Susie. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm originally from Middletown, Delaware. At Penn State, my major was chemistry, and I graduated as a very proud member of cohort 1 in 2017. And I went on to earn my MS and PhD in chemistry from the University of Michigan, where Emma is now spending her time. And these days I am an associate scientist at Phillips 66 in Oklahoma. I work in research and development on a team that's focused on decarbonization technologies. And throughout my undergraduate and graduate school career, my research focuses have been all over the areas of materials chemistry and innovation for energy purposes. In graduate school, I focused really heavily on electrochemistry and focusing on understanding the CO2 reduction reaction. And these days I'm working on CO2 capture. So I learned about Millennium during my senior year of high school. It was way back in January of 2013. And because we were the first cohort, I didn't know much about the program, but I did know that it came with a scholarship. And at that time, my mom and I were hard at work cobbling together lots of scholarships to get me through to school. A lot of them were, $5,000 here, $1,000 per semester there. And Millennium really made a big dent in that. And as some of the folks on the call have already talked about, it's challenging looking at the price tag for school and then knowing that if you want to get a PhD, you'll have to face 4+ years of a diminished stipend and not really a salary, and taking that opportunity cost to actually attend graduate school. So Millennium was really important to me financially. But also there were two main things that got me through undergrad and grad school, and now I carry with me after I have graduated from grad school, and that's the community of Millennium Scholars and also the mentoring that I got from Millennium. I actually have a little show and tell item. It is a quiz from summer of 2013 during summer bridge, where my math professor wrote on my quiz that when doubt fills your head, remember how far you've come. And that really stuck with me. That's just one of the messages, the many, many messages that the mentors of Millennium and the mentors that I found from research that Millennium pushed me to do. These are the messages that you get time and time again, that you're resilient and you're brave and you can overcome the limitations that have been placed before you. And also, like I said, this is a real community, and that's what Millennium really means to me. As much as it meant to be able to defend my PhD, it meant so much more to look out into the audience and to look onto the Zoom call and see members of my cohort and of other cohorts who were there to support me and to cheer us on. So I feel really grateful to be a part of Millennium and really grateful for the financial and mentorship support that I've received over these years. So once again, thank you all for your time, for being here, and for your consideration, and I will pass this on.
So what's not to love? When you look at all of these students and you hear all of these wonderful things that they're saying and doing, it's amazing. As an African American woman in engineering, I evolved at a time when none of these opportunities were available to build community, and I can clearly see the difference that programs like MSP have made for these students. For that same reason, so I too am a sustainable donor to the Millennium Scholars Program, and I invite you to join me. The operating costs for MSP are comparable to partner institutions and who do similar work. And our starting goal for this program is at $5 million, with a 90% or so of it going towards generous scholarships. And 10% goes towards the programming to support many of the opportunities that the students just shared with you. As a result, again, this investment will help change the future of STEM research, and it'll expand solutions to global problems that we currently have. We are looking for financial sustainability to continue to provide opportunities and experiences that you heard our scholars talk about. You can provide a one-time or a recurring sustainable monthly or annual gift at the link on the screen, or text MSP10 to 71777. For larger gifts or transformation endowments, please contact me. I would love to talk to you or share more information about ways that you can make a difference. We appreciate your continued support. We appreciate your attention to this cause and this push to change the future. I thank you so much. We look forward to good things. I will pass it back to you, Kara.
Thank you, Dr. Freeman. And thank you everyone for your lovely, your thoughtful remarks. I would like to take a moment as a reminder to anyone with a question, please feel free to go ahead and type them in the chat now. While folks are typing those in, I will pause for a moment, and there are a few questions to get us started, but I'll pause and see if anyone has any questions in the chat that we're gonna pop in there. Amy, may I ask you a question just as right off the start? Can you speak to other universities and their STEM-oriented academic programs similar to that of Millennium Scholars, and how Millennium Scholars exceeds pretty much our competition? Can you?
Sure. This work is modeled after the Meyerhoff Scholars Program at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And so they initially were looking for, they did it for 30 years, and they've changed a lot about how STEM intervention programs are done in the United States, and a lot about methods to graduate marginalized populations in STEM. And so while they were great, one of the things they were looking to do is, how do we share this with other institutions? How do we clone this and make it bigger? And so they chose 2 institutions to try to emulate their program. Exactly was how it started. And it was Penn State University, North Carolina, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And so the 2 of us are both 10 years old. Other institutions that have since joined would be Howard University and the University of California at Berkeley, University of California at San Diego. And then there are others who are trying to come in. Penn State, what we found is every institution, we love UMBC, God bless them, but we are Penn State. So we had to modify this program to reflect Penn State's vision, Penn State's values, and how we do it better. And every institution will say that they do it better, but first we've done it, aside from that, from UMBC, we in North Carolina have done it the longest. The other thing is the support of our institution, I think, is among the very best. Only after Freeman Roboski, who's the president of UMBC, who started the Meyerhoff Scholars Program, Penn State University's university support is at the top, and all of the success is a direct result of that. We are well staffed. If you look at other institutions, their staffing is not as sufficient as ours. Our engagement of our students with our faculty is also superior. There are many things, but again, I often say it's not free and it's not cheap. A pizza and a smile does not fix everything. It's a big time investment, and our staff is over the top with it. I love our staff, and it's a time investment. It's a financial investment. We are strongly supported by Penn State, but we need really sustainable means to keep this going. And it just takes it takes a lot to do it well. And we're at the top of our game right now, and I'm really, my job as the manager is to make sure we stay at the top of our game. And so your support will really help that.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have a few questions that have come in the chat, both to directly and to me and to the team. So I'm going to read to the group. As a parent, what is your advice in guiding the high school students in order to be an excellent MSP prospect?
I can speak to this. I think the most important thing is for the student to follow their passion in science and STEM in general. I think for me, that looks like getting engaged in research early on, but it is really about just being able to speak about science and for them to find what is best for them and be able to speak about their love.
And I would say engaging them in other high school STEM communities, whether they're summer programs or organizations where they know they're not the only one. It's important to have a strong community. And at that age in high school, they're very affected by peer pressure. So when I see other people who are my age doing this, there's a comfort in that when they understand that they can start to develop community.
We have another question, and it's for Dr. Freeman. It's open, actually. Please speak to the impact of the recent Supreme Court case decision regarding the use of race in college admission on the MSP program. Thank you.
Sure. I'm of the opinion that things cycle around and it's not new. When the Michigan decision came out back in, I'll say in the early 2000s, and we were, oh, what are we going to do? And at the end of the day, we got creative. We changed names of organizations and programs. There are a lot of different things that we did to make sure that the work got done anyway. And with this, I think we will continue to make sure the work gets done anyway. And it is the story of the civil rights movement. How do we work around laws designed to stop us, really, and make sure the work gets done anyway? And one of the things I really love about just some of the new professionals coming out is they're extremely creative with finding ways to make it happen. So an example is, one of the things we can do is talk about, you can't say you can't use race as a criterion, but students are allowed to talk about themselves and talk about their lives. So we just changed our application to the Penn State Millennium Scholars Program to talk about, essentially kind of what is your engagement in terms of your exposure to a wide array of cultures and so on. But it gives a student an opportunity to talk about who they are and what they're doing. And so there are just many ways to make sure that we're serving students that need the service, and also that we're engaging majority students in a way that will make all of us view the world differently and view our fellow professionals differently. So I hope that's helpful. I see the situation. One side of me is like, really, again? And then the other side is, well, one more batch of work we get to do. So, and I don't feel dismayed. I don't feel like, oh no, we're going backwards. I feel like progress is not a straight line up. It's up, it's kind of like the stock market. It goes like that. But over time, we have made progress. And I've lived long enough to see, I remember when there was no women's bathroom in Sackett Building, just saying, places I've been. And so no women's bathroom. And as an engineer, that was a challenge area. I'm thinking of the hidden figure, all the things we've had to do. And today that's unheard of. There's a bathroom for everybody. Pick your poison, everybody gets to go to the bathroom. That's a minor thing, but it was a big deal at one point. So you see, like I said, things go up and you have a setback and you fix that and you go to the next place. Setbacks are a part of the journey. And I just feel like it means we're making progress. If you had to make a law against me, you scared, you should, so I'm looking at these students and they're shaking folks up. And so I'm heartened.
Thank you. We have a question for our students. So for our students who are in degree programs in different colleges, how does this challenge you all? How do you benefit from it? And can you please speak to some of the interdisciplinary experiences that you may have had in this program?
I can speak a little bit about that. So even though MSP is really focused on STEM, I believe there's a lot of opportunity to cross fields and do interdisciplinary research, which is a big thing right now. I got the opportunity to work on my freshman year. Actually, it was during COVID, so it was an online and a staff REU, but it was working on hurricane perceptions of risk. So it was like joining the atmospheric sciences with the social sciences. It was a survey-based research. And even though I wasn't doing like what you think of a scientist, just like coding and everything, that particular summer, I learned so much about the social sciences and the importance of that in meteorology. The way we communicate our weather information is so important and is as important as the models we are perfecting, because at the end of the day, we're doing everything for people. So if people are not getting that science and are not getting that information properly, it's not worth anything. So those opportunities are very, very supported by MSP, and they really want you to cross fields and really make whatever makes you happy. So even though I've seen students and peers of mine that are doing majors in a field and do research experiences in other fields just to explore it, and that's totally acceptable, and it's part of the growth experience as a scientist.
I think I can add on to that. At the University of Michigan, there's a big push for interdisciplinary research as well, because it's through these other fields, the social sciences and others, where we can learn information and adapt it or include it in our STEM research, which isn't or hasn't been explored or talked about. So for me, even though I'm looking at computer science, I'm still taking what I'm learning from education and applying that to my research in order to make computer science more inclusive for various communities. So I think that there is a positive push and a need for interdisciplinary research as we progress in our interests, in our passions, but most importantly, our research as well.
I think
Hello, I'm not. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry. I think along with that, the people in the program are really what make this interdisciplinary. As Ashley mentioned earlier, when we came in our freshman year, we heard a bunch of seniors talk about the stuff that they did, and we're all like, "Oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do this? Like, this is so incredible!" And you go through the 4 years hearing about so much stuff that people do, and you hear all these cool ideas, this really cool science, and you're like, even though my major isn't the same as that person, there's this thing that I heard in my class that connects to what they do. There's this thing that I've been thinking of that connects to what they do, and I can try this out and I can do it. And then even going to summer research programs, I know last year I was at Caltech, and there were a lot of really, really cool people that I met that did research that I was like, wow, I could do that, you know, and it really expanded my mind and forced me to think about how the knowledge that I have can integrate with the knowledge that other people have and how I can build something new out of that. So I think just surrounding ourselves with this really great group of people has in essence made this an interdisciplinary program, regardless of whatever major that you're doing.
Hello. I'm sorry, I'm not on the official panel, but my name is Jordan Scott, and I was in cohort 5. And another way Millennium being interdisciplinary helped me is that I switched majors partway through my collegiate experience. And so when that happened, being able to transition into a new major where other Millennium scholars already were and could help me, get my, start off well in that new major was very helpful to me. And then the connections that Millennium had, Dr. Freeman was able to connect me with the head of diversity in my new college. And I was having weekly meetings with him, which is not very easy to do otherwise, but because of Millennium and their reach, I was able to have that level of support entering a new field where I wouldn't have known anybody otherwise. So I think Millennium and its disciplinarity helps in those ways too, where if you're looking, your first year, you're not really sure on your major yet, having students above you and in your cohort that are in those majors and can tell you about it, help you through classes, and do all of those things can just help you, root your feet wherever you decide you want to plant yourself. So
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. As we approach time, and please feel free to stay on the call a few minutes extra if you want to continue the conversation. Thank you for everyone who joined us today. Thank you for everyone who spoke today. Thank you, scholars who were here, who showed up, parents, alumni, everyone, Dr. Freeman, Georgianne, all of our administrators in the program. Thank you very, very much. As you can see, this is not just an academic program. This is a life program. This is a program that brings people together, brings different people from all over together to become leaders in STEM, and not only supports them in one sense, but in many senses, right? Supports them in their trials and tribulations, the academics, the outstanding mentorship for each other, with each other. It is an outstanding program, and we thank you for exploring this noontime knowledge with us. And we ask that you continue to explore this program. Friday, September 15th is a celebration, two-part celebration. Please look out for an invitation for more information for personal outreach. We will have our provost there. We will have heads of our colleges there. We are so looking forward to engaging with you, to being with you, and to exploring how we can continue to have 10 plus more years of excellence and building the next leaders of STEM. Okay, so thank you so much. Please, again, our contact information will be at the end of this video, at the end of the slide. We thank you all and ask for more questions. Do not stop them from coming. We are open for questions. We are here to answer them. And if you'd like to follow up afterwards, please just shoot us an email. We are so excited and happy to connect with you. And thank you again, everyone. And feel free to stay on for a minute or so if anyone has any questions, follow-up questions. And thank you very much. Amy, we did have a question in here. And I know the answer, but I wanted to, is there a collaboration going on between, or maybe perhaps potential collaboration going on between MSP and the Schreier's Honors College?
There has always been an ongoing collaboration between MSP and the Schreier Honors College. About 25 to 30% of our students are also Schreier students. And so I think Schreier does a great job. And MSP, you've heard all the things that we do, but yes, and it's kind of nice sometimes to see students as they make connections between the Schreier community and the MSP community, and some of the opportunities that come to them because they are members of both. So absolutely.
It's lovely to see, so many people saying they enjoyed the program and the thank yous, all the thank yous. And I'm getting some private messages too saying, say thank you, please express thank you for this wonderful program.
And there's a couple more questions. So one is, how does the College of IST integrate or partner with this program on STEM efforts? So the College of IST is a partner college, meaning that students in our in the IST, we have students who are in IST in the program. So those are and they do things with, so you'll see our students in leadership roles in their ambassador program and other organizations that they have. So it's a very good partnership in terms of the support that our students receive from IST and how our students are integrated into IST and providing leadership to that college as well. Financial. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So what are the criteria to become a student? So the application process is going to open on August 1st. And the first thing is for students to be interested in majors that are in one of our 6 partner colleges. Once a student has completed an application to Penn State, either directly through Penn State or on the My Penn State or through the Common App, if they've chosen one of those 6 colleges, they'll see information about how to apply. We are looking for students who did well academically in high school, and then students who are interested in research and going on after undergraduate to continue their studies. To try and find out about those interests, they do complete 4 essay questions. And so we're looking for students who are curious and interested in science, interested in collaboration, and interested in not only receiving a scholarship, but having all of the experiences that our students talked about today, the cohort experience, the research, all of that. That's what we're looking for.
And each of our partner colleges contribute to the students' scholarship as well as the central administration, and then we have donors and so on. So we're just trying very hard again. As you can imagine, like with budget cuts and so on, if a college is contributing, they'll decide how many students to bring on based on how much money is available to contribute. So that's where we're really trying to create a sustainable support situation where the program doesn't have to give up any of the things that make us, who we are to continue. So
I think this was good. Thank you everyone so much for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.